Good day, everyone. I am Olawale. So, welcome to my channel. So, in order for you to catch up on my historical as well as poetic discourse, you can check out my website transafricanworld.com. You can also follow me on Twitter, Wale's Knowledge Corner. So, without further ado, today's subject of discourse is Africans and their presence in the Arabian Peninsula. So, Africans have been present in the Arabian Peninsula for a very, very long time. So, and then this has been an ever-present feature since the days of the great caravan city-states of the likes of Adorama, the likes of Sabah in Southern Arabia, particularly the likes of Kotaban, the likes of Minyan. So, one very prominent feature that or figure rather that feature in both African history as well as biblical allusion is Queen of Sheba, who in Ethiopian Book of Kings is called Queen Makeda. So this Queen Makeda, who in the Old Testament is called Queen of Sheba, is said according to Ethiopian tradition to have cohabited with or to have married King Solomon of Judah, and then they both gave birth to King Menelik. So King Menelik is the ancestral figure of those who founded the Solomonic dynasty, tracing their ancestry back to King Solomon of Judah. So this Solomonic dynasty was the dynasty that came after the Zagwe dynasty of the likes of Lalibela and his ancestors. So by by the time around the 6th century AD, the days of the great caravan city states of the Sabah, the Kotaban, like I said earlier, the corner was gone already. So the seat of power was shifting in Southern Arabia towards coastal cities, the likes of Emir. So by the mid 6th century AD, Emir was the supreme power in all of Southern Arabia, or the whole of Arabia in general. As a polity, Emirate kingdom was the supreme power. So, and it was a Jewish Arabian kingdom. So the fact that the Emirate people ascribe to another religious consciousness put them at loggerhead with Christian subjects within their empire. So we should not forget that Emir Empire was at a crossroad of civilizations. There was the Persian Empire on the eastern flank. There was the Byzantine Empire as well, and there was the Aksum Empire of Ethiopia. Both the Aksum Empire of Ethiopia and the Byzantine Empire were Christian empires. So we know from historical records that the Aksum Empire became a Christian state in the reign of King Ezana. So with these ideological differences came certain certain disagreements, so which brought the Christian subjects of the Emirates in conflict with their rulers, with their Arabian Jewish rulers. So this was seen or perceived by the Aksumite emperor of the time, King Caleb, as an affront or as an assault on Christianity. So he took it upon himself to attack Southern Arabia. So with his attack, he was able to establish an African colony on the Arabian continent. So he left Abraha, an Ethiopian slave, in charge of this colony. So this colony, they became so powerful that they even took battle or to the Hijaz region. The Hijaz region would translate to today's Mecca, Medina, Saudi Arabia at large. So but they at that battle, they lost due to epidemic, and then so many of those soldiers that fought in that battle were eventually taken as slaves. So all this is said just to give us an overview of how Africans have always been present in the polity of Arabian Peninsula, and then presence of Africa goes way beyond even the intervention of the Ethiopian king in the Arabian politics, because Africans have always been there, whether as slave soldiers, whether as mercenaries, or because Africans from the likes of Nubians, the Afro-Asiatic people from what would be today Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea have always been there. The likes of the Cushitic, the Semitic, would be the Amharic, Oromo, and all of them have always been there. And people from even further south, the likes of what is today Tanzania, Kenya, who the Arabians call Zanj, have always been there as well. So by the time this took place, Africans have always been there. So this has given us an overview of the presence of African there. So we're now taking a look at certain African figures who played prominent roles in shaping historical events prior the coming of Islam in Arabia, and even with the coming of Islam. So we are looking. So for those figures that shaped events prior to the coming of Islam, we will be considering three figures: Antara bin Shadad, Kufaf ibn Nadba, and Soleik ibn Sulaka. So these three together were called Tagribat al-Harab. They were very good poets. So, but among these three, Antara bin Shadad was the most prominent. It was the most conspicuous. He was born of a black slave mother whose name was Zabiba. So automatically he inherited the slave status of his mother, of Zabiba. So his father was the owner of his mother. Like his father's name was Shadad al-Absi. So he became a very, very brilliant poet. But he continued as a slave, inheriting the slave status of his mother. So a war took place between the tribe of his father, the Abs tribe, and then the Abu Zubian tribe. So that war was called the Dais al-Gabra. So, and he fought so valiantly for his father's tribe, the Abs tribe. So after this battle, he won his freedom because of his wartime service. So he passed on into so many legends as a symbol of manhood, symbol of knighthood, symbol of chivalry, of love, because of so many of his poems. And it was called like I said earlier, the three of them collectively were called Tagribat al-Arab, crows of the Arab, because crows are birds and birds sing. So poetry in its days of infancy, or in any culture, was a form of song. It came as a song that people sang. They were called crows because they were poets, and the crow as a black bird, so they were called crow as well because of their dark skin tone, which most of them inherited from their mothers, from their slave mothers. So Antara bin Shaddad poems were even hung on the walls of the Kaaba even before the coming of Islam. So these poems, 7 poems that he wrote, they were called Sirat Antara. So with the coming of Islam, like I said earlier, so many Africans were already established within the fabric of the Arabian society, either as slaves, either as many workers, or what have you. So with the coming of Islam, Islam as a movement, as a culture, preached something that was totally out of the norm. Islam preached equality. Islam preached equity, regardless of your race, your color, your gender. Islam came with this ideology that the only thing that separates people is their piety, their belief in God, and their and their stand on what is right and what is wrong. So this message appealed to so many slaves, so who felt they found a community they could belong to. They found a community that did not segregate against them because of their skin color. So many of them took the message of Islam to heart, and they became the vanguard of Islam rather. So among these people, we'll be looking at certain figures. So a very prominent one among them was Bilal ibn Rabah, whose name has passed into so many legends as a figure of valiant, of valiance rather, of piety, of loyalty. So Bilal ibn Rabah was born of a slave mother whose name was Amama. So he inherited his mother's slave status as well, and he was described as a very tall, dark, handsome, and slim African man. So he was a slave of Umayyah bin Khalaf. So, and he was so trustworthy that his master at some point even gave him the key to the Kaaba to hold in trust all the idols within the Kaaba, which the people of Hijaz, the Arabian people, held very dear to them. So, but with the coming of Islam, he accepted the message of Islam, and this brought him this ending the enmity of his master, who punished him severely. So the news of his punishment reached the ears of the followers of the Prophet, those who were wished among them. I think the likes of Abu Bakr Siddiq. So he purchased his freedom. Abu Bakr Siddiq purchased Bilal's freedom, and he became a very prominent member of the Muslim community. So he was the first first muazzin of the Prophet. He was the first person that called to prayer for the Prophet when they got back to Mecca. So, and he became a very prominent feature in Islam. He fought so many battles. He fought at Badr, he fought at Uhud, he fought so many battles. I think he fought at Yarmouk as well, alongside Khalid ibn Walid. So another figure we'll be looking at is Ammar ibn Yasir. Ammar ibn Yasir was born of two slave parents. His mother was Sumaya, while his father was Yasir ibn Amir. So both were slaves of the Banu Makhzum, the Makhzumi. So with the coming of Islam, like I said, every other slave who found hope with the message of Islam ascribed to it or subscribed to it. So the family of Ammar ibn Yasir was not exempted, and they faced a very very big persecution. So Ammar ibn Yasir also, he was among those that went for the first hijrah into the court of King Negus, the Aksumite emperor, when they left Makkah. So on getting back, he fought in so many of the early Islamic campaigns. He fought at Badr, he fought at Uhud, and then at some point in the reign of Umar during the Rashidun Caliphate, he became the governor of the city of Kufa. So he died at the Battle of Siffin, fighting the cause of Ali against Muawiyah and his Syrian supporters. So that's for Ammar ibn Yasir. So another prominent one was Miqdad ibn Amr al-Aswadi. He was called Faris al-Islam, as Knight of Islam, because he was the only Muslim that fought on horseback at the Battle of Badr. So he fought so many campaigns for the Muslims as well. He was also among those who fought with Khalid ibn Walid at Syria, I think at Yarmouk or at Adnadain. So with these we are able to grasp how Africans have always been an ever-present figure in the Arabian culture or Arabian polity, even before the coming of Islam. And with the coming of Islam, so many of them went on to become powerful people within the confines of Islam. When Islam extended into Egypt, there were so many Africans that even became powerful within the state machinery. When Islam extended into the the Iberian Peninsula, that was the Andalus, that later became the Andalus. It was Africans that took that the Africans were the vanguard who took Islam into the Iberian Peninsula, from Tarif to Tariq ibn Ziyad, and so many Africans who came after them. So even when the seat of power shifted to Baghdad in the reign of the Abbasids, African were still prominent. There were so many prominent African poets within the Abbasid Caliphate, Farazda, the likes of Aisha Sulaim. So there were so many Africans. So thank you very much for sticking around to listen to this. So I hope to serve you better on the next one. So you can check out my website, as well as my Twitter page. So I not only share historical content, I share poetry as well, because I love those two a lot. It's a way to gain, it's a way to expand our knowledge, because I believe there is a lot to learn from the past. There is a lot. The past is like a library that contains a lot of things that is yet to be explored. So join me and let us explore it together. Thank you.